in Toronto! Pronounced Toronto, not Toronto, otherwise known as the Six. I like to think of Toronto as Canada's equivalent to New York City. It's the closest we have to a concrete jungle. First things first, the best way to get around Toronto is by public transport, known as the TTC. Traffic in Toronto is atrocious, and it's often more efficient to take the subway or streetcar to your destination. Now, let's get the touristy attractions out of the way so that we can focus on the more interesting stuff later in the video. First up, you guessed it, the CN Tower. Tickets are quite expensive, at $43 for adults and $30 for both seniors and children. And make sure you buy your tickets online because they're even more expensive on site. After a short but terrifying ride up the elevator, we made it to the main observation deck and got to take in the views. Luckily, we got a beautiful blue sky day to go. I can't imagine paying $43 and being surrounded by fog. If heights make you hungry, there are a few food kiosks and tables for you to enjoy lunch. We spent about 20 minutes circling the observation deck before we got bored and decided it was time to go back down. Was it worth it? Well, that's up for debate. I would go just to say I've been up the highest building in Canada, but it's really nothing to write home about. Right next to the CN Tower is Rogers Centre, the home of the Blue Jays, the only MLB team left in Canada. If you're around town for baseball season, I highly recommend getting tickets, but if not, the gift shop is open year-round for you to browse and purchase some great merchandise, like this fancy shirt or even a game-used dirt jar. Nice hat!
Thanks.
There are some other attractions in the area that might be of interest to you, such as the Toronto Railway Museum or Ripley's Aquarium. A short walk from this area, you will find Canada's most sacred temple, the Hockey Hall of Fame. If you're a diehard hockey fan, you could spend hours upon hours scouring the halls looking at artifacts and memorabilia from all throughout hockey history. They even have interactive exhibits where you can get in on the action. You can be a goalie playing against your arch nemesis team, or even a Sportsnet news reporter reading off the teleprompter. One of the coolest sections of the Hall of Fame is the Trophy Hall, where you get to see the dozens of trophies awarded every year to the different teams and players, including the original Stanley Cup, which you can take a picture with and even get up close and personal. If all this talk about sports gets you hungry, a short walk away you can find St. Lawrence Market. You can find dozens of specialty stalls and even grab some takeaway, but we settled for a seafood lunch right across the street. Moving on to another prime tourist attraction is the Toronto sign at Nathan Phillips Square, surrounded by the old and new City Hall buildings. It's a great spot for souvenir photos from your time in the Six. And if you're in need of some retail therapy, the Eaton Centre, one of Toronto's favorite malls, is right around the corner. If you're into more posh shopping destinations, you might be inclined to visit Yorkville, a chic community in the heart of Toronto with shops, restaurants, galleries, and even a beautiful residential area. A few blocks away is Canada's only Eataly, one of my favorite stores in the entire world. It is heaven for any food lover. I can and have spent hours just browsing the aisles. It's virtually impossible to come out of there without buying anything because everything just looks so good. And this time, we even treated ourselves to a meal at one of their 5 restaurants. If you want to visit a more eclectic version of Toronto, Kensington Market might be the place for you. This bohemian area is home to lots of restaurants, food shops, vintage and quirky clothing shops, among other establishments. A favorite restaurant of mine in the area is Film Cafe. It's a very casual and chill place. The menu might seem a little all over the place as they offer bagels, Latin bites, sandwiches, and even Japanese cuisine. But trust me, they know what they're doing. I always get the teriyaki chicken don and it hits every time. Once you've finished exploring everything Kensington Market has to offer, it's a short walk to Chinatown. After a couple of days in the bustling city, you might be looking for a change of pace. I have 2 options that will take you closer to nature while still staying within the city limits. The first is High Park, Toronto's largest park sprawling 339 acres. It features hiking trails, a peaceful lake, beautiful gardens, sports facilities, a dogs off-leash area, and even a free zoo. It's easy to forget you're in the middle of the biggest city in the country while you're there. Another great place to feel more at one with nature in Toronto is the beaches area of town. There's a long boardwalk perfect for casual strolls, and the lake is so wide that you can't see the other side, and it feels sort of like an ocean. You can even enjoy your favorite water sports like canoeing, kayaking, or even sailing. But if you prefer staying on dry land, how about beach volleyball? In any event, it's a great place to come to relax alone or with friends. Another cool place to hang out with friends? A rooftop bar. The drinks here are a little pricey as you might expect, but the views make up for it. Finally, I couldn't make a video about Toronto without including what Time Out deems the 14th coolest street in the world, Ossington Avenue. There's surprisingly a lot of history on this street, and it's most known for its restaurants, nightlife, and shopping. We had a dinner here one night at Union. It wasn't our first choice of restaurants, but it was the only place that could accommodate us last minute. If you want to dine in the area, I suggest reserving a couple days ahead of time, especially if you want to go on the weekend. And definitely don't forget to check out Bang Bang Ice Cream Shop. There's a huge lineup for a reason. You can smell the delicious flavors a block away. Time for me to head back to Montreal now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped you plan your upcoming visit to Toronto.